All right, we're going to try this again. I'm going to wait for you guys to get in here. There's like a delay between it when it goes live on YouTube versus Streamlabs. So I'll set up the stream. I've rewound back about 15 minutes. Hopefully that will help. Let's see. Hopefully this works. Can you hear me, Neat? Hold on. Let me go over to YouTube real quick. Let me know when you can hear me or if you can hear me. Let me see what's going on here. Give me just a second. If you don't mind. Okay, you guys can hear? Perfect. All right. Let me share the screen. I rewound it, so we should be right back where we need to be. Hopefully, we might have missed a little bit, but this is the best I can do. All right. Here we go. Let me close this one. I don't need two streams. All right, let's try this again. All right.
You can look at the beginning. I'm not positive if it says at the beginning that
no, I feel like
you
this is
Detective Maynard to come see you, but maybe you can check.
This is right where we were with Detective Maynard. All right, we'll start it right here. Okay.
It's a little painful, but we got there.
Yes. A little confusing.
All right. Yes, I know. I'm sorry. But let's just summarize that interview, and then we'll move on. So in that interview, you told them that you bought pills from Susan Kohler one time, that you bought pills from Robert Crozier 2 times, and that you bought the same pills from Robert Crozier on each occasion. Correct?
Correct.
All right. And in that interview, you said that the pills were left at the Midway house, either in the fireplace or in a cup in a closet. Correct?
Correct.
All right. And you don't know who picked up the pills from the Midway house, correct?
No, I do not.
So you don't know if Kouri picked them up, correct?
No, I do not.
Or if Eric Richins picked them up?
No, I do not know. I do not know who picked him up.
Okay. All right, fair. So 2 days after the interview with the U.S. Attorney's Office, so we're now going to May 12th of 2023, you called Detective Maynard and asked him to come see you. Do you recall that?
I don't recall calling him. I think they were just there.
It might have been a text. You either called him or texted him on your tablet. Do you recall that?
I
you
don't
needed
recall.
To see him. All right. That's fine, but let's get the May 12th.
All right, we seem to be back in business. Thank you guys for your patience. I appreciate it so much. All right, here we go.
Interview out, which is in the binder number 2.
Okay.
May 12th.
Maybe this one's gonna fall.
You know, I'm going to take that out of your way.
Okay.
I think we're done with that one.
Okay.
Okay?
Now, May 12th, what page?
No page yet. I just want you to have.
Oh.
That's the interview we're going to talk about.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You can look at the beginning. I'm not positive if it says at the beginning that you asked Detective Maynard to come see you, but maybe you can check that and see if it does say that. And if not, that's all right.
Yeah, it doesn't say that I
Okay.
asked to see him. They were already there.
All right. So either way, you talked to him on May 12th.
I have a Driscoll and a Maynard in both this.
You think they're both there on May 12th?
Yes, it says that they are.
Are you on the-
I'm on page 2 or 1.
Of the May 12th, 2023.
Ms. Lauder, would you look at that blue tab and tell me what the date is on the blue tab?
Interview 5/3/23.
It's the wrong one. Would you go to the tab that has 512?
Oh, way back here. Okay.
Okay.
Now that might make sense now.
Okay, thank you.
Wait for Ms. Lewis's question.
Okay.
All right, well, go ahead and look at the beginning again, and like I said, see if it indicates if you asked him to come see you. What page is that, Katie? Page 3. line 18.
Okay, correct.
All right, so you asked Detective Maynard to come and visit with you that day.
Correct.
All right. And part of the reason you wanted to talk to him is you were very worried about being charged federally. Fair?
Actually, he was shocked that they were there.
What do you mean?
Because I told him I had just met with some feds, and he said, you did. So he was acting shocked that they were even there.
Okay. You still, though, were telling him you were worried about it,
I had told him I had a visit with him, yes.
and that you were worried about what might happen because of that.
I don't recall what
All right.
that conversation was.
So, look at page 7 and 8.
Seven and 8.
The bottom of 7.
Okay.
Oh, I can't see the top, Katie. Is this page 7? Okay.
This one says 8. This is among 7.
Nicholas, I need you to ask a question.
I am. I'm trying to find the spot about the question. All right. So on page 8, you're talking with Detective Maynard again about getting it laid out for you. Correct?
On page 7 it says that.
Okay. And that's because up to this point, they've been explaining to you what had happened, correct?
They were explaining more to me what happened. They've had the data from my cell and everything, correct?
All right, yeah, that's true. They did have your, not all of it though, because you'd lost some cell phones, correct?
No, I've had that cell phone forever.
Well, you told them you'd had a lot of cell phones, and some of the ones that you were using back in 2022 were broken, but they did have some cell phones,
They did have
right?
to, yes.
Okay. So initially, they were the ones that told you that Kouri asked for fentanyl, correct?
I don't recall. That's what they said to me.
Yesterday when you were testifying, we talked about this.
They told me Eric had passed away from fentanyl,
All
an
right.
overdose.
And we talked about that it was the detectives that possibly put the word fentanyl in your head. Do you recall that?
Correct, yes.
Because they are the ones that told you about the fentanyl, correct?
Correct.
All right. And in this interview, you're telling them you're worried because of all these possible charges that you might get, correct?
Correct.
And Detective Maynard says that the goal is to convict Kouri for aggravated murder. These parallel drug investigations, those aren't a priority. Do you recall that?
I don't recall.
Can you look at page 12 of that same interview? It's at the top.
Yes, correct.
So Detective Maynard told you the goal here is to convict Kouri of aggravated murder.
Jackson, Your Honor, that's not what it says.
Yes, it is on the top of page 12.
The word here is
You're looking at the right spot?
You added a word.
you added a word.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, Ms.
I'll read it
Lauber,
exactly.
The question is, does that refresh your recollection that Mr. Maynard stated the goal is to convict Kouri for an aggravated murder?
Correct.
You're right.
So
I
yes
added
or
it.
no?
Yeah,
I
sorry.
added the word here. So what was it Detective Maynard said to you? Why don't you go ahead and tell us?
I said the goal is to convict Kouri for an aggravated murder.
And then he said, the rest of that the next sentence?
Read the rest of what he said.
These parallel drug
Yes.
investigations?
Those aren't a priority.
Okay. So they're telling you they're not worried about what you're doing. Their goal is to convict Kouri of aggravated murder. Right?
Correct.
All right. And again, you're telling them it was just so much easier when they put the puzzle pieces together for you, correct? Do you remember that?
I don't recall.
We'll look at page 16.
16?
Mhm. See at the top?
Yes.
Okay.
Line 3?
Yes. Does that? So now do you remember you talked about them putting the puzzle pieces together?
Correct.
All right. And didn't you also tell them that you were talking to your daughter, Kelsey, and that your daughter asked what was happening, you didn't even know. You didn't know what had happened, is what you told her.
I
Correct.
recall.
So I'm not.
On a jail call or?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no. Let me rephrase that. That you were telling Detective Maynard that you had been talking to your daughter, and you were like telling her, "I don't even know what happened." Correct.
I don't recall.
All right, let's look at page 16. Do you see that now?
At the very bottom, yes.
Okay. So you said your daughter had asked you what happened, and you're like, I don't even know. Correct?
Your Honor, foundation, I think at this point, counsel's using this portion of the transcript to refresh a witness's recollection. I think the next question should be, does this refresh your recollection?
She's still reading, so I wasn't quite sure. But are you done
Yeah,
reading that?
The objection is sustained, and
Okay.
also, we're having pronoun article trouble here. I'm really not sure what this is about. If you can be just specific and
All right.
provide context in your questions.
So this is while you're still talking about, laying the pieces together and all of that. And
You have to ask her if that's her memory.
do you remember that, well, we just talked about it. You remember that you had spoken with Detective Maynard about, putting the puzzle pieces together. That made it easier when they laid it out. We just talked about that a minute ago, right?
Correct.
And then you told him, look at line 16.
Ms. Lewis, I sincerely don't want to interrupt you. You have to ask her if she recalls. You cannot ask her.
I
just
thought
to
she
read.
said yes, she did recall.
Then there's no reason to go. To
Oh,
the
well, I haven't asked her if she recalled the second part.
Then that's why you can't just read from it.
So, yeah. So do you, I think I asked this, but let me ask you again. Do you recall telling your daughter, or not telling your daughter, do you recall telling Detective Maynard, yes, I talked to my daughter, she asked me what was going on, and I said, I don't even know, or something to that effect?
I don't recall that.
Okay, so if you look at line 16 through line 23,
Read that to yourself, Ms. Lauber, and then wait for the next question.
Okay. Okay.
all right. Do you remember now that you said that?
Correct, but I'm confused on what she's actually asking me.
What I'm asking you?
What we're talking about in this conversation. It doesn't say exactly what we're talking about.
Okay, so you just don't recall exactly what that was about. That's
Not the
fine. If you don't
conversation.
remember, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't recall what we were talking about. I just said,
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
You just said,
It just says it doesn't specifically say exactly what we're talking about.
okay, that's fine. Well, we'll move on from that then. All right. Why don't you turn to page 20, and then I'm going to ask you a question, and then if you don't remember, you can see what it says there on the page.
Okay.
So Detective Maynard, at the end of this interview, tells you just something to the effect, don't worry, we're going to get you through this, you can get on with your life. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, there's one more interview that you have with the detectives in this case, and that's the next day, May 13th of 2023, all right? And then, okay, so why don't you just have that in front of you? Do you recall that in that interview, during that interview, that's when they really laid out for you about the March 9th drug purchase? Do you
I
recall
don't
that?
recall, huh?
You don't recall that that's when you guys talked about the March 9th drug purchase?
I don't recall.
All right, well, why don't you take a look at the beginning of that interview,
Which page?
just at the beginning.
This, which date? are
Which
we
date?
speaking?
What
May
page?
13th, the next day.
So just make sure you're at the right tab, or maybe you have it already.
Yeah. 513. Okay, now I'm done.
And forgive me, I interrupted you, Ms. Lewis. The page number that you want to use to refresh your recollection.
I was just asking her to look at the beginning of the interview to see if she recalls that they were now on this day talking about primarily the March 9th purchase.
Is there a
Is there
page
a-
range?
Page I need to be on?
Can I look at the beginning, Katie? I think it's right at the beginning. Next one. Because you're just chatting at first. Next one. Okay, well, let's start here. On page 5, page 5.
Okay.
This is when they tell you that they've met with your friend Nick Bonsavage. Do you recall that?
No, I don't recall them.
Do you recall, let me ask it this way. Do you recall conversations with Detectives Maynard and Detectives O'Driscoll where you talked about they had talked to Nick Bonsavage about the last purchase that he went on with you?
I don't recall them saying that they talked to Nick yet.
All right, well then take a look at page 5, line 9, 10, 11. Does that, take a look at that. Have you looked at that?
Correct.
All right, so they're talking to you about how they'd met with Nick Von Savage.
Yes.
All right, and isn't it after their meeting with Nick Von Savage, it's through Nick they decide that last purchase was March 9th. Remember that?
Correct.
Okay, there we go. And at that point, they ask you, is it possible you bought pills a total of 4 times? Once from Susan, 3 times from Crozier. Do you recall that?
I don't recall that.
Okay. Let's look at page 13.
Okay, on the page.
At line 7, Detective Maynard. He asked you if there's a 4th trip, correct?
Correct.
And you said absolutely not. There were only 3, correct?
Correct.
All right. And then you've told them again in that interview, I just know totally there were only 3 total purchases. Do you recall that?
I don't recall.
All right. Let's go to page 29. You now recall you said, but I just know totally there were only 3 total.
Yes.
All right. So again, back on March 13th of 2023, I'm sorry, May 13th of 2023, you told the detectives more than once, not 4 purchases, I know total 3 purchases for Kouri.
Correct.
You told them that 2-3 times, correct?
Yes.
You told that to Ms. Whistler with U.S. Attorney's Office 2 days prior, correct? We talked
Yes,
about that.
yes.
Yes, okay. But today, you're saying there were 4 purchases.
Correct.
So even though you were totally sure in 2022 there were 3, your testimony now is that there were 4.
Yes.
Okay. All right. At the end of that interview, I think it's page 30. And let me ask you if you remember before we read that. They tell you that they are going to bring you a timeline of everything that happened. Do you remember that?
I don't recall.
Do you want to take a look at page 30? It's line 16, well, line 11 through 18, oh, 19.
Okay.
All right. So, just like today, the timeline was confusing then too, right?
Correct.
And they said, well, we're going to bring you a timeline to help you figure this all out, something to that effect. They're going to bring you a timeline, correct?
Correct.
Did they ever bring you a timeline?
Pause for one moment, Mr. Glover.
Your Honor, just foundation, we're going to bring you a timeline or something to that effect. We can use the precise words. We have the precise words.
Overruled on this one. Keep going, Ms. Whistler.
So they said they're going to bring you a timeline. Did they ever bring you a timeline?
I don't recall.
So you don't know if you ever got a timeline from the detectives?
I don't recall if they were brought
All right.
or not.
So it's after this, I'm not sure if what day, and I don't know if you remember, but sometime after this interview, they released you from custody. Correct?
I had to be on ankle monitor. I had to be approved through Judge Maybe to be on ankle monitor. I could not leave the jail without that being on my
Okay.
ankle.
So they put an ankle monitor on you and they released you from custody. Correct?
Correct.
And did you went back to see Judge Maybe, correct?
No, I was not allowed in drug court at the time
Why weren't you allowed in drug court?
because I was suspended for a minute. It was on pause.
Because you were a cooperating witness?
Because what?
Because you were a cooperating witness for the state? That's why you weren't allowed back in drug court?
Yes.
All right, but you did go see Judge Maybe, not in drug court, but you appeared in front of Judge Maybe to get conditions for your release, right?
She already had approved the conditions before I was released.
Oh, so you didn't have to go to court? It was
I still had to go a couple of times. I mean, I still go every 3 months now.
Okay. But let me just ask you, when you were very first released, you put an ankle monitor on, you're released from the jail. Did you have to go see Judge Maybe, or were you just released and you already knew the conditions?
No, I think I had to go in front of her.
Okay. So when you went back to Judge Maybe, she gave you some conditions of release, correct?
Yes.
And one thing they did is they transferred your probation from Wasatch County to Summit County, correct?
I think so, yes.
And your new probation officer became Detective Maynard, correct?
Yes.
All right. So he's now your probation officer. You testified yesterday that you only talked to him a few times after these interviews in May up until Today.
I text him every morning, so I still have to check in with him.
Oh, all right. You didn't tell me that. So you text him every morning to check in with Detective Maynard
Correct.
to tell him what?
I just have to send him a text saying good morning, and he responds back, Lauber, that's it.
Okay. Does he drug test you?
He was in the beginning.
How long did he continue to drug test you?
I don't recall.
Do you recall the last time you were drug tested?
No, I don't recall.
Has it been more than a year?
I'm sure.
Has it been more than 2 years?
I'm not 100% sure.
Could it be more than 2 years?
Yes.
So you haven't had a drug test in over 2 years, correct?
Correct.
Even though you are on probation with Summit County Drug Court, correct?
I'm not on drug court.
I'm sorry, I said Summit County. You're on probation with Wasatch County Drug Court.
No, I'm paused. It's in pause.
It's okay.
It's paused.
Go ahead.
It's paused, so therefore I don't have to interact. I don't interact with anything to do with drug court right now.
All right. So you don't actually physically go to drug court because it's on pause until this case is over, right?
Correct. I go in front of a judge maybe every 3 months.
Okay. And every time you go in front of Judge Maybe, well, tell me, what happens when you go in front of Judge Maybe?
They just put it out another 3 months.
Do they ask you when the trial in this case is going to be?
They never have asked me.
All right. But they're putting it off until the trial's over, right?
Correct.
Because what happens is going to depend on if you testify at this trial, correct?
Correct.
And if you testify truthfully at this trial, then you are not going to go to prison, correct?
Correct.
And it's the people here at this table that decide if you testified truthfully, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
Well, who makes the decision if your testimony was truthful?
I have no clue.
So if you got up here and testified today, I never bought pills from Robbie, I never gave pills to Carmen, would you?
I'm Carmen.
I'm sorry, I never gave pills to Kouri. Would you still be not charged in drug court? Everything would be fine? You'd just be done?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know the answer to that one.
All right. So one of the conditions of your release is that there are certain people that you were not to have any communication with, right?
Correct.
And one of those people was Nick Von Savage, correct?
I'm not 100% sure.
Well, let me show you. It's been marked as IMPCL 7. Right here where it says the defendant is ordered.
Just wait for the next question after you read it as well.
Yeah, read it and then I'll ask you the question.
That is correct.
So one of your conditions was you were not to have any contact with Nick Von Savage.
Correct.
You weren't to talk to Nick Von Savage.
Correct.
But you did talk to Nick Von Savage. You've been talking to him for the last 3 years, correct?
Correct. It was only until I had the ankle monitor on there. It was not to have contact with my kids or Nick Von Savage. It says right there with the ankle monitor on. I had the ankle monitor on for a year.
Okay, that's not what that says.
And maybe I misread it.
I think you misread it. So these were,
But Ms. Lewis, we're asking her about her recollection, so if you'd follow up on that.
all right. So your recollection is it was only when you had the ankle monitor on you couldn't have contact?
Correct.
All right.
Because I had to go back and get permission to even talk to my daughters.
Well, did you have permission to talk to your daughters, or it was just you weren't to see your daughters in person?
I couldn't go down the canyon at all.
Right, and later that changed, and you were allowed to go see them in person?
Yes.
Correct, okay. But take a look at this again. Does this, and then tell me, did the ankle monitor have anything to do with not talking to Nick Von Savage?
To install a GPS ankle monitor on the defendant prior to her release. The defendant was ordered to have no contact with Kouri Richins. Yeah, I'm confused on that, but
So it doesn't say in there that the ankle monitor is connected to not having conversations with Nick Von Savage, fair?
I think that's where I was confused, where it combines in the top
Okay.
to the second sentence.
So you weren't to have conversations or contact with Nick Von Savage,
Correct.
but you have had conversations with him throughout the last 3 years. He's your best friend, right?
Correct.
You talk to him, I don't know that you talk to him a lot anymore, but you talk to him all the time at first.
Yes.
All right, so you didn't pay any attention to that condition.
No, I don't think I recall talking to Nick until he graduated drug court. Because it says that I'm not supposed to have any contact with any people in drug court.
Right, but Nick graduated from drug court before you were even arrested in April of 2023,
I'm not quite
correct?
sure when he graduated.
Right. If in fact he did graduate by April of 2023, you still weren't to have contact with him because he was a witness in this case, correct?
Oh, I don't recall that.
All right, I'm just going to ask you one more time. It says here you're not supposed to have contact with him, correct?
Correct.
And you have had contact with him throughout, correct?
Throughout a couple of years, yes.
Okay.
Okay, I'll say this. Now, this does not do anything to help Kouri at all, her having contact with Nick. If she's not supposed to have contact with Nick and she's just admitted on the stand under oath that she's had contact with Nick, yeah, she could be in trouble. It doesn't, as far as this, as far as whether or not it helps Kouri, it does not help Kouri. It's not going to help Kouri in the, I don't at all. And I kind of think the main reason the state ain't bugging is because they have texts.
Oh, let me ask you, yesterday it came up that Kouri Richins wrote you a couple of letters saying you'd completed community service that you hadn't really completed, right?
Yes.
You asked Kouri to write those letters for you, correct?
I asked Kouri if she could, yes.
All right, so you asked her, even though I haven't done community service, will you write letters saying I did?
Correct.
All right, so that's how you got those letters.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So now you've just got okay, hold on a second. So now you've admitted, and now the jury has heard for the second time that she asked Kouri to lie for her with reference to litigation, criminal charges, and she agreed to lie for her. Fantastic. I don't know what you thought you were proving with that, but all you did was prove that your own client is a lying liar face who lies. Way to go.
So, Carmen, isn't it fair that you really don't have a memory about what happened in February and March of 2022?
What do you mean by that?
Well, when you were interviewed in 2023, you didn't remember what had happened, correct?
Correct. It's a lot to take in.
It's a lot to take in. And you didn't remember it a year after the fact. So you really don't even remember now what happened in 2022 and 2022, correct?
Rephrase your question, that kind of confuses.
You didn't remember in 2023 what happened in 2022. And you don't now remember what happened in 2022, right?
Yes and no.
It's been laid out for you by someone else, correct?
Due to data, cell phone data and everything, yes.
All right, so whatever memory you have is what was, you don't have a personal memory, it was shown to you.
No, I have partial memory.
You have a partial memory.
I have memory, yes.
All right, fair to say your memory was better 1 year after the fact than 4 years after the fact, right?
It is confusing later on, years later, yes.
Okay. And you were using and selling that whole time in drug court,
I was not using and selling the whole time.
the whole period we're talking about of February and March of 2022.
Yes.
Kouri never once asked you for fentanyl, correct?
No, not correct. I mean, yes. Wait, you confused me. Can you answer the question again?
Kouri never asked you for fentanyl, true?
I had told her that that's what Robbie had, and she said, okay, go ahead and get it.
Let me ask the question again. Kouri never asked you for fentanyl, true?
Yes.
All right. And you bought prescription OxyContin from Susan Kohler, correct?
Correct.
You got light green pills from Crozier sometime in February of 2022, correct?
Correct.
And then you went back and said, give me more of the same, correct?
Correct.
And the last time you went back was after Eric Richins died, correct?
I'm not sure.
Well, the last purchase was May 9th of 2020,
Ms. Liz.
March 9th of 2022, correct?
Correct.
After, and you know Eric died on March 4th, correct?
It was March 5th he passed away?
Well, I think it was March 4th, but either way,
Sure,
the
correct.
pills were after he passed away,
Correct.
correct? All right. And again, a year after the fact, you said numerous times, I bought pills from Mr. Crozier twice, correct?
Correct.
Now you're saying 3 times, 4 years later, correct?
Correct.
Because that's been told to you because of some data you saw, correct?
Yes, correct.
But you don't remember that.
No, I don't recall.
Okay. So, after you said you were willing to cooperate, and they said you were getting a big jail get out of free card, you got your big jail get out of free card so far, right?
Correct.
Because you have not been in jail for the past 3 years,
Correct.
and you haven't had to go to drug court anymore, correct?
Correct.
And all you do is wait to see how your testimony goes to find out what happens, correct?
Correct.
You're not being drug tested, correct?
Correct.
Even though you're on probation, correct?
Correct.
And your probation consists of, in the morning, you say hi to Detective Maynard, and he says lobber.
We just text back and forth. If I'm leaving town, I tell him I'm leaving town. If I'm here, you know.
Okay, so you tell him if you're leaving town. Are
I
you?
still keep tabs. He still keeps tabs on me no matter where I'm at. He has my work schedule. He has everything.
He does have your work schedule.
Yes.
And you've been allowed to move to Las Vegas, correct?
Yes.
So, because of your cooperation, you got out of going to drug court, correct?
Correct.
You got your probation transferred to Summit County with Detective Maynard, correct?
Correct.
You got to stop your drug testing, correct?
Correct.
You got to move to Vegas, correct?
Correct. But I'm not living in Vegas. I'm living here.
You're here right now.
Judge maybe approved me to move to Vegas, but I'm still here in Utah.
You haven't moved to Vegas yet?
No.
Okay. You've been allowed to go to Vegas numerous times to visit, though, right?
Correct.
All right. And you haven't done any time for any of the crimes that you committed, correct?
Correct. I was incarcerated. I stayed in jail for 23 days.
Well,
That's it.
23 days when you were arrested in April of 2023.
Yes.
And it was during that time period you were in jail because you were getting your story together with Detectives Maynard and Detective O'Driscoll.
Yes.
Okay. And the pills that you bought from Mr. Crozier, you don't know what those pills were, correct?
He had told me that he had fentanyl.
You didn't look at the pills, correct?
No, I didn't sit there and play with them. No.
You didn't know what they were, correct?
Correct.
You didn't have them tested.
No.
Okay. You didn't take any, you said,
No.
correct?
Correct.
You did or you did not sell them to anyone else?
I did not sell them to anyone else.
Okay. You don't know what happened to those pills, correct?
I don't know who picked him up, if that's what you're asking.
Right. You don't know who took those pills, correct?
Correct.
And you have, sitting here today, absolutely no information about what happened to Eric Richins other than that what you were told that he died of a fentanyl overdose.
Correct.
And you have no idea what happened the night that Eric Richins died.
I do not.
And you have no knowledge if Ms. Richins killed Eric Richins.
I do not.
Can I just have a moment?
Yeah, but that's not what she's testifying to. It's not what she was here for. She's never claimed that she did, and neither did the state. The state is connecting her to the purchase, how Kouri got the fentanyl in the first place. It is way too little too late.
Just leave.
Neat, you're right.
Thank you.
Way too little too late. Too late.
Scott, can you bring up Exhibit 8-11, please?
For the witness?
For the witness and counsel, Your Honor.
Okay. One moment. There you are.
Your Honor, the state moves 8-11 into evidence.
I don't need version.
8-11 is admitted and published.
Ms. Lauber, can you see 8-11?
Yes, I can.
Do you recognize that? I know you said you didn't earlier, but has Mr. Moffett shown you that exhibit?
I don't recall seeing them yet, but I know they were given to me. They're given to him.
And their date, did you see April the 19th, 2024? Do you think they were given to him? Or do you know what day they were given to him?
I don't.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Actually, Scott, can you put that back up? I think some of the jurors are still reading that.
My apologies.
Please allow me to read this to y'all. Let me go over here. Dear Mr. Moffett, I write concerning your client, Carmen Marie Lauber. As you know, Kouri Richins is charged in 3rd District Court, Summit County, State of Utah, with numerous criminal counts related to the aggravated murder of her husband, Eric Richins. The state of Utah alleges that Kouri Richins poisoned her husband with fentanyl, resulting in his death. Summit County Attorney Margaret Olson advised me that Ms. Lauber is a material trial witness for the prosecution. Ms. Olson asked the United States Attorney's Office for the District of Utah provide Ms. Lauber immunity from prosecution for her involvement in supplying the lethal fentanyl to Kouri Richards. In exchange for Ms. Lauber's candid cooperation, full transparency, and truthful testimony in the state prosecution of Kouri Richins, the United States agrees not to pursue federal criminal charges against Ms. Lauber relating to her sales of illicit fentanyl to Kouri Richins between January 1st, 2022 and March 10th, 2022. This letter serves to memorialize the agreement between Ms. Lauber and United States. That's her deal. There it is, black and white.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Lauber, do you recall testifying yesterday that you met with prosecutors a few times over the past few weeks to prepare for testifying in court?
Yes.
Was your lawyer present with you every single minute of every single meeting?
Yes.
Do you recall yesterday mentioning that you had anxiety?
Yes.
Have you seen a medical doctor for that anxiety?
Not recently, no. Not
Have
for
you
me.
ever seen one?
I did in the beginning of drug court, yes.
Did you receive a diagnosis of anxiety?
Yes.
And did you receive any treatment prescription?
Yes, a non-narcotic, a boost bar?
A boost bar?
I can't remember exactly what it's called.
Busaprone. It's Buspar.
It's just a little white oval pill. It looks like a little bar. I have them in my purse out in the car.
All good. Was that your personal physician that you consulted with?
In drug court, yes. They provided one through Wasatch Mental. Anybody who needed meds through drug court, they provided her because they were non-narcotic kinds.
Understood. From the time of your entry into drug court in September 2021 until your arrest in April of 2023, did you continue to behave like an active drug addict?
In the beginning, I'm kind of confused with what you asked.
From the day you entered drug court until the time you were arrested, did you still behave a lot like an active drug addict?
I'm kind of confused on that one.
Well, did you occasionally use drugs?
Yes.
Did you lie about using drugs?
Yes, an active user will lie.
Right. Were your lies to interviewers consistent with being an active drug user?
Yes.
Have you been clean since you were arrested in April 2023?
Yes.
And that same day you were arrested was the day that detectives, or was it the day that detectives told you that Eric Richins died of a fentanyl overdose?
The day I was arrested, no.
When was it?
I was in jail for a couple of days till they came and see me.
So a couple days.
Yes.
You didn't use in jail, right?
No.
So you've been clean since detectives told you that Eric Richins died of a fentanyl overdose.
Yes.
Has your memory become cleaner? Sorry, has your memory become clearer since you've been clean?
Yes.
Has your memory become clearer as you've had more clearer as it relates to everything we're talking about here?
Yes.
Has it become clearer as you've had more time to process your involvement in Eric Richins' death?
Yes.
Has your memory become clearer as you've reviewed phone records, photographs, Facebook messages, and other materials with your attorneys?
Yes.
Are there times, though, you still get confused about dates?
Yes.
And are there times you still confuse details between various drug buys?
Yes.
In the 6 or 7 interviews with Detectives O'Driscoll and Maynard, did those detectives repeatedly stress to you their need to corroborate any information that you provided?
Yes.
And did you repeatedly stress to them how much you loved Eric and how much he did not deserve what happened to him?
Correct.
Do you recall testifying yesterday, and again today actually, where detectives said that you could get a big, giant get-out-of-free jail card?
Correct.
Do you recall what you said to detectives immediately after that?
I don't.
If I were to show you a transcript of that interview, would that refresh your recollection on that point?
Yes.
Scott, can you please publish 8-59, page 113, lines 11 through 15? Ms. Lauber, if you could read that and then let me know once you've read that.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done.
Does that refresh your recollection?
Yes.
After the detective said, do you realize you could get a big get-out-of-jail-free card, what did you tell them?
I told them that even if that was the case, I felt like I still needed to step up and take accountability if this is really what happened to Eric.
Thank you. When considering the 6 or 7 interviews with Detectives O'Driscoll and Maynard, in their full and fair context, do you think that did you think at the time, do you think now that Detectives O'Driscoll and Maynard were trying to plant information into your memory?
Your Honor, objection, speculation.
Overruled.
No, I do not.
Do you think that they were trying to help you recall information from your memory?
Yes.
You've reviewed all of those transcripts, and just to be sure, is it April 27th? Do you have the binders up there?
I do have them. But
Is it April 27th?
You may need to help her out.
Well, that's okay. We've touched them all. We don't have to review.
yeah, that's the one.
Were all of those transcripts accurate transcripts of your interviews with Detectives O'Driscoll, Maynard, and Miss Whistler?
Yes.
Your Honor, the state's marked the April 27th, 2023 interview as 8:57. The May 2nd, 2023 interview is 8:58. The May 3rd interview as 8:59. The May 4th is 8:60. The May 10th is 8:61. The May 12th is 8:62. The May 13th is 8:63. The state moves 8:57 through 8:63 into evidence.
He-
Had a chance to go through these transcripts. They're loaded with your.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Didn't you just go through the transcripts with her? Neat is right. Look how fast he is cleaning up Tina's 2 days of trash and confusion. Yes. Hats off to you, Mr. Bloodworth. Hold on, let me rewind this
The state moves 8:57
redonkulousness.
through 8:63 into evidence.
Your Honor, we haven't had a chance to go through these transcripts. They're loaded with hearsay. So unless there's time to go through and redact and determine what's hearsay and what's not hearsay, we're going to object.
I'm going to not rule on that motion at this time. There are multiple rules of evidence we need to have a conversation about there. So if there's any other foundation you want to lay, I'm not suggesting that you need to, one way or the other, do that now, but we'll have that legal discussion at a later time.
Understood, Your Honor. I don't need to lay any additional foundation.
Understood.
Ms. Lauber, at bottom. Let me back up half a step. Your Honor, can we have that legal discussion during the lunch break?
Yes.
Because it
May impact what you
may
do.
impact additional redirect.
Understood.
Ms. Lauber, at bottom, did you purchase drugs at Kouri Richins' request 4 times?
Correct.
Did you deliver drugs either hand-to-hand or by placing them somewhere at Kouri Richins' request to Kouri Richins 4 times.
Correct.
Did you testify yesterday and today truthfully to the best of your recollection?
Yes.
What do you think happens to you if you did not testify truthfully?
Everything I have on would be revoked.
And what happens then?
I go to prison.
For how long?
A long time.
Ms. Lewis, with the reservation that Mr. Bloodworth just made on the record about the potential for additional redirect depending on the court's ruling on the state's motion to admit the transcripts, anything further from Ms. Lauber at this time?
Not at this time, no.
Okay. Let's just have that discussion immediately, if you don't mind, Mr. Bloodworth. Folks, let's let you stretch your legs. We're not going to recess for lunch just yet. There may be a few more questions from Ms. Lauber. Thank you. Folks, have a seat. Thank you. Ms. Lauber, I need you to step into the lobby during this legal discussion with the lawyers. Please don't talk to anybody about your testimony, okay? Stay in the lobby, though. We may have a few extra questions for you in a few minutes.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
Well, Ivy Lease, the defense doesn't want them to come in their entirety, apparently. They only wanted I think they only wanted what they wanted in, and the rest of it, no.
Okay.
So I'm curious as the argument. Let's
Current
hear
state
it.
of affairs. The state has moved to admit 857 through 863, which is a series of transcripts of interviews of Ms. Lauber by other government officials. None of those were subject to cross-examination, right?
No.
They were all just interviews.
At the time, no.
Correct.
At the time, they were not subject to cross.
Okay. So they are categorically hearsay that will need an exception for or another rule that would allow them to be admitted, correct?
Correct.
Okay. The defendant objects to hearsay. If you would respond to that and then tell me which rule you think they come in under.
Your Honor, the defense has cherry-picked certain statements that Carmen Lauber made to impeach her credibility, to rehabilitate her credibility.
No, it's Lauber with a B, as in
The
boy.
state needs to enter all of the interviews because they show essentially an ongoing iterative discussion, which when you understand the full arc of, it is clear that she is being credible. While she may be confused, she is not untruthful. So the full scope of Ms. Carmen Lauber's statements need to be admitted for a rehabilitation purpose. Any other statements by, the questions essentially, right, by the various interviewers, that all goes to the effect on Ms. Lauber.
Everything you say is true, but I still have to contend with Utah rules of evidence. And so they are out-of-court statements. You could call the other half of those conversations, Detective Maynard, Detective O'Driscoll, presumably, maybe the federal official, and ask how this went. And if they didn't remember, you could refresh their recollection. All I need to contend with right now, and it is a genuine question, I don't think I have a basis to just admit them wholesale. There may be a basis for you to ask Ms. Lauber about other prior consistent statements that she's made to rebut the argument from the defense of a recent fabrication. And I'm not suggesting otherwise. But we can't do it through the wholesale. We can't do that through the wholesale admission of the transcripts.
Your Honor, I think I can't. I guess I disagree with that.
I guess how can I overcome the hearsay problem that is being raised? They are out-of-court statements being made for the being admitted for the truth of the matter, right?
No,
Because if what she's
they're being admitted to rehabilitate.
well, but if what she says in the prior things isn't true, it doesn't rehabilitate her. So the truth is what matters, correct?
No, in rebutting recent fabrication, what matters is the
Completeness.
matters is-
He's arguing. I think what he's doing is arguing for completeness. Okay. I think what the issue here is the defense cherry picked certain statements by Carmen out of those interviews as impeachment to her testimony, as if she's changing her story. She said one thing in May of 2023, she's saying another thing today. And what he's trying to get in is the whole thing, because for completeness, to understand the totality of the context of the conversation. I think that's what he's arguing.
is the full arc of the discussion to show that this was not a recent fabrication. That if you understand Carmen Lauber's statements, not cherry-picked, but over the scope of a series of interviews over 2 weeks or whatever it is, you can understand that she is credible and not recently fabricated.
I need you to tell me how this comes in over a hearsay objection or through some other rule regarding prior statements of a witness. If they're out of court statements.
80. You're on, I don't know. I start with they are out of court statement, yes. The state is not offering them for the truth of the matter asserted in Carmen Lauber's statements. The state is offering them not to say what she's saying back then is true. We're saying the opposite, actually. We're saying that a lot of what she said back then, we're not offering for the truth. We're not offering Carmen Lauber's statements to show that she had 3 drug deals. We're offering Carmen Lauber's statements to show, regardless of whether they were true or not, this is the evolution of the detectives, of her providing information to the detectives, whether or not that information is true. Because the defense in impeaching Carmen Lauber has suggested that the investigators were planting information with Carmen Lauber.
And you can call those people to testify subject to cross-examination to say that's not how it went at all.
And
the evolution of them was X, Y, and Z.
And I think putting in the transcripts does the same thing, and there's no hearsay problem. The statements that are not hearsay, 801 D1A.
Yeah, that's why I asked about the cross-examination problem, right? The prior statement has to have been cross-examined, right? Under D01,
No.
the declarant testified. Sorry.
No, subject to cross without the prior.
801 D1A, right?
She testified about the prior interview statements.
Where's the inconsistency?
She has been cross-examined about the prior statements, and the statement is inconsistent with the declarant's testimony.
But that's the foundation you haven't laid.
The interviews are, D1B,
Sure.
Inconsistent with the declarant's testimony. We have that.
But I'm not sure you do. These transcripts are 100 pages long, maybe less, maybe more. There's how many of them? There isn't foundation for all of these statements being inconsistent with her sworn testimony.
Consistent, I'm sorry.
Sure, D1B, that's fine.
D1B is consistent with.
Right, and there isn't foundation for all of them being consistent either. You just have to lay foundation. That's the problem with the wholesale admission. It may be that we just need to do this piecemeal, maybe call Carmen Lauber back. I'm not suggesting that there are not pieces of these transcripts that are admissible. There certainly are likely to be pieces of these transcripts that are admissible as a non-hearsay exhibit. Wholesale admission of them, there is not foundation for that. Yeah.
Your Honor, I think the consistency comes in the arc of the statements. That's where the consistency rises. Sure, we have individual sentences. This is an ongoing interview, right? It might have taken place over the course of several days, but it is an ongoing interview. And to appreciate the consistency of the interview, the giant interview, the jury, that is the consistent statement. That is consistent with her testimony. Her testimony being that this is generally what happened. I might be confused on days. I might be confused on details between various buys. But she is, in the great arc of her interview, she is consistent. And you have to understand the great arc of her interview to appreciate that consistency.
And forgive me, I just want to make sure the record is clear on the scale of what the state is asking here. So if somebody could please give me the page counts for each of these exhibits.
Working on it.
And I appreciate that, I guess it is somewhat voluminous. And the jury, it might go back to the jury room and they're like, too much. We're not even touching it.
That's not my concern.
And,
Scott,
and
can you just go to the last page of each of these exhibits? And,
Your Honor, we're
Oh,
getting,
okay.
I'm
Sorry.
slow, exhibit by exhibit, I'm getting numbers up.
Okay.
And Your Honor, maybe just to put a finer point on the Rule 801 D1B, there is the recently fabricated piece, but really the defense's argument is acted from a recent improper influence or motive. And, you know, seasoned throughout the entire scope of the interviews, the defendant is consistent, Carmen Lauber is consistent in her testimony.
I understand the state's position.
Okay.
I still need those numbers, and then Ms. Lewis will give you the benefit of the record
I just can tell you there's 932 pages of transcripts
combined.
combined, yes.
Okay. Ms. Lewis, anything else for the record?
Oh, I think Your Honor's identified the issues. I agree.
Okay. So the issue currently before the court is the state's motion to admit proposed exhibits 857 through 863, which constitute 932 pages of certified transcript of interviews by law enforcement and other government officials of Carmen Lauber in 2023, correct, Mr. Bloodworth?
Yes.
Okay. The state has offered those as exhibits. Defendant objects that they constitute hearsay, not subject to any exception. In response, the state points to the definition of hearsay under 801 and argues that these 932 pages are categorically not hearsay under 801 D1B, which states that a declarant witness's prior statement is not hearsay when the declarant testifies and is subject to cross-examination about a prior statement. That occurred here on the record through Ms. Lewis's cross-examination of Ms. Lauber regarding these prior interviews, and the statement seeking to be admitted, the out-of-court statement under D1B, is consistent with the declarant's testimony and is offered to rebut an express or implied charge that the declarant recently fabricated it or acted from a recent improper influence or motive, and so testifying. The state makes a persuasive argument that admission of Ms. Lauber's consistent statements from the interview transcripts would be appropriate to rebut the implications by the defense that she has recently fabricated or acted from a recent improper influence or motive in testifying on the record in this trial. But the state simply hasn't laid foundation for a conclusion that all 932 pages constitute statements that are consistent with the declarant's testimony here, for two reasons. One, I don't have a basis to rule that all of those 932 pages are consistent, and it's entirely possible that many of those 932 pages are unrelated, not consistent or inconsistent, and therefore would be need to be analyzed under a 403 balancing test regarding probative value and things like unfair prejudice, misleading the jury, or wasting time. So based upon the foundation laid so far, the court simply doesn't have a basis to rule that all 932 pages being offered are not hearsay. In so ruling, the court acknowledges that there is likely portions of each of these interviews that is consistent and would be admissible under 801B1B. I just don't have that designation in front of me at the moment. Ms. Lewis, anything further? Okay. May not be the last time we have this conversation, Mr. Bloodworth.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Doubt it will.
Understood. All right. With that ruling, anything else from Ms. Lauber?
Your Honor, not today. Can I propose, though, that we keep her under subpoena? We will address the interview transcripts and then revisit this.
Understood. I'll tell her that on the record. Okay. May we invite Ms. Lauber back in, please?
Your Honor, can the court advise her that because she's being held, she still can't talk about her testimony?
Yeah,
Thank you,
that's
Your
fine.
Honor.
Lunch here. Okay. Ms. Lauber, if you take the stand for one moment, I just need to give you some instructions.
Boy, every time she comes back in, she's crying. Bless her heart.
Thank you for your patience. The lawyers don't have any additional questions for you today. We may need to call you back at some point in the next 4 weeks. You'll get notice. You're still subject to subpoena, which means if you get notice that you need to come back, you have to do it.
Okay.
All right? Second, you cannot speak to anyone about your testimony between now and either being called back in or the trial being over. You have to affirmatively avoid talking to anybody about your testimony.
Okay.
So if anybody asks you about it or asks you about this case, you have to say, the judge told me I can't talk about it. Do you understand?
Yes.
Can you follow that instruction?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Bloodworth, anything further with Ms. Lauber today?
No.
Ms. Nesser?
Can you also make sure she doesn't watch the rest of the proceedings on television or video?
I would imagine you have
I
better things to
don't
do.
watch any of
Yeah.
it at all.
But please, if you would not watch any of the witness testimony and not read any news or social media reports about the other witness testimony.
I don't. I stay away from it.
Okay. Can you follow that instruction? All right. Very good. Anything else, counsel? Ms. Lauber, you are free to go today. Thank you. Mr. Moffitt, thank you. Okay. Mr. Bloodworth, may I invite the jury in, tell them we're going to take a lunch break?
That sounds right, Your Honor.
Ms. Lewis?
Fine.
What time would you like to come back?
12:30?
Sounds fine. Ms. Lewis, is that agreeable?
That sounds fine.
All right. Can we invite the jury back in?
Oh, I didn't mean to hide that. I wanted to talk about that. Yes, Violet asked. So they have to lay foundation to get the whole thing admitted. Yes. If they want all 900 some odd pages to be admitted into evidence, yes, they would have to lay foundation. I think they're going to end up having to call potentially, maybe, unless there is some kind of compromise that can be made. Law enforcement, because frankly, the defense alleged that essentially she has no independent recollection of what happened. The only reason that she has recollection of what happened at all, and she's not even interpreting her own. Let me say this a different way. Basically, what they implied is that all of her testimony was planted. That the state was so keen on prosecuting Kouri Richins that they're dealing with that they did some unscrupulous things, and they were willing to take this person's word, which is ridiculous. And JL Cupsta says it was just going to take shorten time on the stand. They're all testifying anyway, but she's literally run amok on how long she's taken with those witnesses. This is going to get, I forget the word on the tip.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay standing. I promise this won't take long.
He's just going to tell him to go to lunch anyways. Well, and JL says, yeah, Jen, defense is saying that. I don't know if anyone's ever going to believe that. Here's the deal. Why take the risk? They've got one bite at this apple. If they want to get her convicted, they need to cross all the T's and dot all of the I's. And so rather than risk it, the best thing to do is to get it in front of the jury. And I think at this point, because the cross examination was so confusing, I think it might actually be important to delineate the difference in, if I show you these text messages, does this help you remember better what happened? Versus, well, you know, here's what happened. You just agree to it. And yes, I think Carmen should get a whole fruit basket. Absolutely. I think,
Thank you for your patience. We needed to handle a legal issue.
all right, he's gonna dismiss him for lunch. I think what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna go in the sunshine with my little nuggie. So I'm gonna end it for today. However, I was thinking I could be back tonight, but I also have the nuggie tomorrow, which means I have to be up at 4:30 again. And I don't know what this afternoon holds as far as testimony. So what I was thinking is I'll watch the rest of this afternoon, and what I'll do is I will either be live tonight, maybe 7 or 8. So 7 or 8 Central Time, which is 8 or 9 Eastern Time, or, and you guys let me know, because Friday nights are a hectic night on YouTube. A lot of people going live. Or what I can do is go live tomorrow, Saturday afternoon. Maybe do like a nooner. Either way. In fact, let's just do that. Let's just say I'm going to go live Saturday at noon, and we'll catch up on the rest of this. And and here's why I'm thinking that. Not only are Friday nights hectic, but technically this will be my second live today, which means if you got notified, that's all the notifications you're going to get from this channel, because that's how to keep it fair. So that's the rule. So let's do Saturday at noon. We'll catch up on this afternoon's testimony. Okay. So I'll see you guys back here Saturday afternoon at noon. Oh, you're welcome, Daria. I appreciate you guys all being here. It's been a long week. And to be fair to the Nuggie, she's been here. The only day she wasn't here this week is Wednesday. And every single day, other than the day which was Wednesday, the one day she wasn't here, I've streamed for pretty much all day, which means not spending as much time as I normally would with her. And she's been really patient with me, and it's gorgeous outside today. So I'm going to take her. We're going to ride bikes and go in the sunshine for a little bit and get a little serotonin, a little vitamin D. And then I'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon, literally at noon Central. So 1 o'clock Eastern. Okay? Sound like a plan? All right. You guys have a fantastic rest of your Friday. I hope you guys, if weather permitting, you can get out and enjoy the sunshine. If weather does not permit, stay bundled up, warm and cozy. I'll be thinking of y'all, and I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it. Bye.